Now let's play with color matching in order to make your composite more realistic. Alright, so I have this original image here of Todd indoors with Bunsen. I went ahead and I cut him out of that image, creating a layer mask using the Select and Mask task space. And I brought him over to here. Okay, the sunset by itself image. I made him pretty big in that image, bringing him all the way to the edge of the picture. I am noticing right now there's an edge right here, and you'll see this with your photos because sometimes the very edge of the picture is not masked out. So you will want to mask that out using your brush tool, painting with black and foreground. You might need to reset your brush. Make your brush bigger with the bracket, right bracket key. Alright, and then just paint that. Oops, it's not working. And the reason is, you probably already can tell, I don't have the mask itself targeted. The layer and the mask need to be targeted. And now it's working. Okay, so I'm showing you this technique to match Todd's color a little bit with this background. In the indoor setting, obviously it was a little bit yellow, right, because the lighting in the indoor setting was different than this outdoor setting, which is more blue. Notice how it's more blue, there's grays, and then there's going to be some yellows and oranges too, because this is a dramatic time of day, sunset. So we need to put that on him somehow. We're going to need to map those colors onto him. This first technique I'm going to show you, color matching, is not how professionals would really do this, but it is a quick and dirty, easy method to get you started, making him look a little bit more realistic in this scene. So let's go ahead and rename these layers. I'm going to rename my bottom one Sunset Background, because you're going to have a lot of layers in this panel when you're done with your composite. So it's a good idea to keep them straight. Todd Original. Okay, so with the Todd Original layer targeted right now, I'm going to duplicate that. And the way I duplicate that is to do Command J on my keyboard. Command J. I made another one just like that one. And I'm going to call this one Todd Color. Okay, because we're about to change this top layer, this duplicate layer, into a color layer. So right now you see the blending mode is normal. And you see all of these are groups of blend modes. They're all related. Each group contains blend modes that have something in common with the others. We come down here, hue, saturation, color, luminosity. These sound like they're related, right? They're color related blending modes. And we're going to choose color. So the default is normal. You're coming here to this blending mode pull down menu, and you're choosing color. Watch what happens when you make Todd Original invisible. You see that it just changes into this kind of ghostly image. It's basically just his color. Right? So that's why we do want the original back there. We're going to be blending. We're going to do stuff with this and then blend it back with his original image. So that with that selected and just the full image targeted, not the mask, we're now going to go into Image, Adjustments, Match Color. The image menu at the top of the screen, Adjustments, Match Color. Notice this is a destructive edit. That's why we're doing it to the color layer and not the original Todd layer. This pop-up box comes up. We first need to be concerned with this down here. The source. The source is the document we're in. So Todd Composite Demo.psd. Todd Composite Demo.psd. Notice I only have two tabs, two documents open right now. So I'm choosing the document we're in. Layer has to do with what layer do you want to get the color from. Okay, so we want, in our case, Sunset Background. That's the layer we want to take color from to map onto Todd. So sunset background. We're going to see the colors on Todd jump. And now it's almost like the colors removed, so we still have stuff to do. Okay, up here, you can bring luminance all the way down. It might be making yours really, really dark. If so, you might want to bring it back up to about 50. But when we play with opacity over here, because we're blending with the original Todd, that will actually change. But you may want to bring it up if you're seeing him super dark, if he looks super dark. Color intensity, you can bring that all the way up, and you see that starts to bring some red back, or to about 150, depending on what your image is looking like. So kind of eyeball that. I'm going to bring that all the way up to 200. Fade, this will have to do with opacity as well when we come over to the layer panel. If you bring that all the way up, you see he begins to look very red. It's starting to basically blend it with the original. So I'm going to leave that all the way down because I can play with that once we're back at the layer panel. Neutralize has to do with color cast, and that's exactly what we're playing with now. So you're not going to probably see much difference if you check that, but you can always experiment with that. Okay, so luminance is down, color intensity up, and fade is just in the default. It's all the way down. I'm going to click OK up here in the upper right. It's going to work a little bit to process that. Okay. So now we're not seeing much difference when we toggle the original, but with this top one selected, let's bring the opacity down to between 60 and 80%. Now we're blending the color layer with the Todd original, the full Todd layer. Okay, so I'm bringing back in some red from the original because his original image was rather red and yellow. That's definitely an improvement. I'm going to bring back the opacity up to bring more blue back in. Okay, but you see he's very evenly lit, and you see that in a sunset scene like this, there's definitely going to be a lot more variation on the subject, and we'll play with that in another tutorial. But already you're seeing that this is looking much better. He's looking more like he's outside. So remember to toggle on and off to see the difference before and after. Before and after. This is the first step you'll want to do in color matching your subject to a different background.